Welcome to GKey Solutions Private Limited. Power BI classes with real-time interview questions and answers. Class 5. What is query folding in Power BI? In this class, we are going to discuss about what is query folding in Power BI. Before getting into query folding, we have to know what is Power Query. Power Query in Power BI is a data connection and transformation tool used to import, clean and reshape data from various sources. Coming to query folding is the process where Power Query translates your data transformations and steps into a single query. Typically, we can call it as SQL that is executed by the data source. For example, SQL Server, Oracle, etc. rather than inside Power BI. That means Power Query is used to connect to different databases like SQL Server, Oracle, something like that, and we can do minimum transformations in that. In simple terms, let the database do the heavy lifting instead of Power BI. Why is query folding important? There are different points like coming to performance, data transformations are pushed to the source system, reducing data load time and efficiency. Less data is moved across the network. Incremental refresh requires query folding to work correctly. Scalability works better with large data sets. These are different points why is query folding important that can be implemented in this process. For example, let us say you connect Power BI to SQL Server table with millions of rows. In Power Query, you filter the data columns to only show 2023 data, and you can remove some columns. You can group data by region. If query folding is happening, Power Query generates a single SQL combining all steps. SQL Server executes it and returns only the final result to the Power BI. In this scenario, the Power Query is going to generate a query based on the different transformations that we are going to do, and that query is given to the database and all the calculations are going to be done over there, and the output is given to Power BI here in this sense. For example, for different steps that we have performed like removing, grouping and filtering thing, finally the query is generated like this. Select region, sum of sales from sales table where date and group by, something like that. The query is going to be generated like this. And how to check if the query folding is happening? In Power Query editor, right click on a step in the applied steps pane, click view native query. If this option is available and shows SQL, query folding is occurring. For example, if it is grayed out, that step or earlier step broke query folding. That means there is no query folding on that step. What breaks query folding? Some actions prevent query folding, like adding custom columns using M functions. Example, text dot middle name, like date time dot local now, something like these are the different functions, date functions and something text things that we are going to do on a custom columns, or you are adding a custom column to a particular data set, then it is going to prevent the query fold. And merging queries with the files or excels. For example, if you connect with any file or excel, a flat file, JSON file, something, if merging happens over there, then it prevents the query folding. And using unfoldable functions are connecting to flat files like CSV, Excel, JSON files. If you connect to these files, you can't see the query folding over there. If you connect to our databases, if you do the minimal transformations, then only you can see the query folding over there. We can see these things practically in Power BI desktop. Let's see the summary. There are different features here we have defined. Coming to the definition, definition is like pushing Power Query transformations back to the data source. That means you are giving all the transformations which are happening in desktop to our database. The things are going to happen from database side itself, and the output is going to push back to the Power BI desktop. And the purpose, it improves the performance and reduces memory usage which is in Power BI desktop level. Supported sources, SQL Server, Oracle, Azure, etc. Not flat files like Excel and CSV. We can't do query folding for the flat files like Excel and CSV. Mostly we are doing the query folding for the databases like SQL, Oracle, Azure or something. Check folding. Right click view native query. If it is enabled and if you are able to see the query, that means the query folding is happening. If it is grayed out or disabled, then there is no query folding. Best practice: keep foldable steps at the top of the query steps. Let's see these things practically in Power BI Desktop. We are in Power BI Desktop. We have a sample report which is with a slicer and some of the visuals which are there, and some of the KPIs with the gauge and some cards also there in the like this report. In this report we are having 2 pages with the different visualizations. And let us see what are the different sources that we have connected here. Here I have connected department, EMP and orders. These are the 3 data sets that we have connected. Orders we have connected with the Excel source, and for DEPT and EMP tables we have connected to like SQL Server database. To transform and do some transformations in any of these data sets, we just go for this transform option, transform data, then new query window is going to be opened. This is called Power Query window. Here we can do the different things. See, this is the Excel file. If you do anything on Excel file, any calculations or any modifications, any transformations, we can see the query folding here. Then in such scenario, we can do the things in the database tables, like we are connecting to the employee table and do some of the steps here. I'll remove what are the steps that I have done before, and we do these things from the beginning. See, this is the employee table that we are having here. We'll do some of the steps here, like if you right click on this, you are going to get different options, like you can duplicate columns, add columns, remove duplicates, change data type. We can transform like this, and you can replace the value. You can group by something. Here we are grouping the column based on department number. Like this grouping is happened in the EMP table, and we are removing it. And for example, on this thing we are just transform the data to a lowercase. Why? Because all the names in the uppercase, we are just transforming the data into lowercase. And the employee numbers also, we'll select what are the different employee numbers. I'm just disabling this thing for having some of the steps here. See, for every operation that I'm doing here in this table, we are getting some of the steps over here. For example, remove empty rows or something, it has removed some of the empty cells. See, finally, if you want to see whether query folding is happening or not on this thing, just right click here and view the native query. See, here native query is enabled. That means the query folding is happening on this. See, these are the different steps that we have done on this table. With the final like a transformation that we have done, you can right click on that. You can see the native query. Then you can able to see all the steps which are happened and all the transformations that you have to do, that you have done on this like a table, that is EMP. We have connected to SQL Server database. For example, we are going to the orders, which orders is a data set that we have connected to a Excel file. Here also there are different steps. For example, if you click on this step, we see here view native query is disabled. Why? Because for any flat files like files like Excel, other kind of JSON files and text files, all these files we can connect to different sources like this. And for this, view native query will be disabled. The native query will be enabled only for the databases like SQL Server, Oracle. If you connect to those databases, if you get the data from there, if you perform any transformations, you can see the queries. In this scenario, what happens in the Power Query is these calculations or transformations, these are going to hit the database instead of calculating on Power BI Desktop. The calculations are done at database level. That is called query folding. That is, this query is going to be folded with database, and it does the transformations over there until it will get the output and it will put in the Power BI Desktop memory. Then in such a way, query folding is happening on databases which we are connected to different databases like SQL Server, Oracle, DB2, Teradata, something like that. And in this way we have connected to a particular database,
like particular server in SQL Server and particular database, and we have fetched these two tables, EMP and DEPT, and by using the Power Query editor, we have done all these transformations. So if you want to save these transformations, we can go to this close and apply Power Query editor. Then all these things are going to be stored in Power BI desktop level, and we can use those calculated columns or things here for our visualizations or report building. In this way, query folding is differ between databases and flat files, and the advantage of query folding is that it is going to be folded with database instead of the calculations are happening in Power BI desktop level. The calculations are going to be happening in database side, and for the performance it is going to be useful, and for incremental loads also it will be very useful. I think you got some idea about the query folding. Thank you.
Stay connected with GKey IT Solutions on all your favorite platforms. Follow us on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and press the bell icon to stay updated with all our latest content. Join the GKey community and grow your IT career with us.